It's Wednesday, and you all know what that means. That means we have AEW Dynamite taking place. As you know, we have some interesting matches taking place. We have, of course, the open challenge for the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team titles on the line. We even have, of course, Sting's gift given by Tony Khan. And, of course, our main event features, of course, Orange Cassidy teaming up with the Rainmaker to take on the BCC, Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. But first things first, as you know, we continue with more of New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Junior Tag League. Now, as I say before, we're still in the early stages. So this is day 3 that just recently took place. I'm so excited to see how far we're going to go. But this time we're going to go with the full length of the show because it tells us certain storylines that will be told upon in the future. And then, of course, we cap it up with a small number of news updates about what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what offensive promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, any wrestlers that either been signed or departing from any promotion, injured wrestlers, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of reviews on pro wrestling from various shows, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where wrestling is not as big, but it is growing. We also do some discussion videos on various topics and on wrestlers, storylines, whatever we can get our hands on. And of course, we do some more news updates by itself if there's anything we need to report if I didn't report it on the previous episode, or we also do some news updates and various other things. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us on this channel and click on the subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff here on this channel. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button and or a nice comment down below. So let's get started with our very first review, and this is from New Japan Pro Wrestling with Super Junior Tag League. Now, in the last couple of episodes, I actually did not review the entirety of the shows due to my time limit. But however, since I'm only doing 2 reviews, let's just focus on the entirety of the show that we have. On the first match, we have Shota Umino, Bolton Oleg, and Ren Narita taking on the United Empire's Cal Newman, Henare, and Great-O-Khan. Now, the only reason this match is happening recently, back in Royal Quest, Shota Umino has issued a challenge once again to Will Ospreay for the UK slash United States title that he has in his possession. However, Will Ospreay gave him the said, okay, I'll give you the shot if you give John Moxley a match, give Great-O-Khan John Moxley for a match. Now, the significance of that for Great-O-Khan, he has been losing recently. He has not been doing anything. He hasn't been himself ever since losing the undisputed British heavyweight title from Rev Pro. But he believes that defeating Moxley would give him an opportunity to be in the AEW World title conversation. However, you know that Umino will do whatever it takes to send a direct message to Will Ospreay, which he did with a somewhat version of a modified hidden blade onto Cal Newman, giving Umino finally the win that he needed to send a direct message to Will Ospreay. Of course, Khan may not be pleased with it, but it is what it is. Now, our next match, we have the Bullet Club consisting of Geto, and Taiji Shimori taking on LIJ's Yota Tsuji and Hiromu Takahashi. Now, here's the interesting part of Hiromu that many of you don't know. This past weekend, he defeated Hirata for the DDT Ironman Heavy Metalweight Championship. Now, those who aren't familiarized with that, that's a 24/7 belt. Think of the modern day version now of what Crash Holly did back in WWE back in the day. If you guys remember, everybody were chasing him. That is even more extremer in with this title. However, you know that Hiromu has to have his eyes open, but however, he has to focus on the fact on Taiji Shimori, since he will put the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title on the line. But of course, this match did end. Excuse me, with Yota Tsuji actually applying the Gene Blaster, which is the spear, onto Geto to give him the win. However, like any other match involving the DDT Ironman Heavy Metalweight Championship, Yota Tsuji pinned Hiromu, but did not capitalize on the 3 count. Then of course we had Yuto Nakajima. So basically, Hiromu should have known better that this was going to happen, so he ran, realizing that everybody's gunning for him. So I thought that was great. I thought it was classic, to be honest with you, but it was so hilarious. So yeah. Now, our next final match before we start the tournament, we have Oscar Lobe, Tomohiro Ishii, and of course Hiroshi Tanahashi, 2/3 of the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions. They take on the members of Just 5 Guys, consisting of Yuya Uemura, Taichi, and Sanada. Now, in this picture, you can see Uemura. He doesn't seem happy. Now, the obvious thing is maybe he was not too keen on how the results were from the day before, because of course Just 5 Guys were in a match against each other, against LIJ, and it resulted in a time limit draw. So I'm sure Uemura would love to get back at that match to rectify, to right a wrong, but he has a contempt with Lobe, Tanahashi, and Ishii. So that's pretty good right there, but showed. However, just like everything since we've been seeing Uemura since his return, he was able to pick up another win with the underhook suplex onto Oscar Lobe. However, it appears that Sanada and Taichi had a much better idea for Uemura. Apparently, they seemed like they want to gun for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles. I mean, that's a pretty good idea, and I'm sure maybe Uemura, he feels like, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. So, we'll see it. Now, as you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling does have a great relationship with the Mexican promotion, and by fact, one of the oldest promotions in all of Mexico, CMLL. Once again, the collaboration between two promotions, it's going to happen again. Fantastic Mania will take place in February of 2024. So I'm so happy that we're going to see that. So we may see wrestlers from Mexico, from that promotion, to come to Japan, and it'll be a lot of fun. Excuse me. Now, let's begin with the actual matches for the tournament. Super Junior Tag League. Our first match, we have TMDK, Kota Fujita, and Robbie Eagles. They take on DKC and Ryosuke Taguchi. Now, the one thing that TMDK need to be more worried about is the teabag by Taguchi. Now, he's been known to do crazy things on this matter. However, Zack Sabre Jr. was there to give more support, especially when he has to make sure his student, his protege, Kota Fujita, does things right, to make sure he has everything that he needs to do. However, that wasn't enough, because somehow who was it? I think it was Taguchi. Yeah, Taguchi applied the ghetto clutch on Kota Fujita. This was a huge disappointment right there. However, like I said, we're still in the early stages. TMDK currently right now has 2 points with 1 win and I believe 2 losses. But as for DKC and Taguchi, they got 4 points with 2 wins and 1 loss, with total points of 4. Now our next match, we have Masushi and Yo take on Catch 22, Francesco Akira and TJP. However, Chris Carlton does put out a very fantastic point. The day before, they had their moment to have a revenge against the members of the Bullet Club, more specifically with the traitor Maloney and of course Clark Connors. The obvious thing, they missed their opportunity, they blew it. You may never get another opportunity of that ever again. However, the obvious thing was told, and Hanari knows that their heads are still hold on to that. But at the moment, they have to contempt knowing they got two competitors that they're in front of them at the moment, Masushi and Yo. However, it was Yo who applied the direct drive onto TJP, giving them the win. However, it was Masushi and Yo that currently are now with 4 points, giving them with 2 wins and 1 loss. As for as for Catch 22, they only have 1 win and 2 losses with total points of 2. Now, our next third match involving the Super Junior Tag League once again is those despicable pricks, the House of Torture, Kanemaru and Sho. They take on just 5 guys, Taka Michinoku and Doiki. Now, you know for a fact Doiki and Taka will love nothing more to pound the living crap out of that traitor Kanemaru for betraying Taichi and all that. But however, of course, oh, here we go again. Referee is knocked down. Sho brings the wrench, then apply the shock arrow to ensure they win. They'll do whatever it takes to win in order to get what they want. But do we think they're going to win the entire tournament? I highly doubt that, but we will see what happens. Now, our fourth match, we have the Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida, taking on the War Dogs, the Bullet Club War Dogs, more specifically, Drilla Maloney and, of course, Clark Connor, our current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Now, keep in mind, these guys have already, Jet Setters have lost to them recently in a title match. But however, this is the Super Junior Tag League. And now, the rule of thumb, if they were able to pick up a win, it would be another opportunity that they will have in the future. But however, of course, Maloney and Connors will not let that happen. But however, the resiliency of Jet Setters set upon, it was of course Kushida that picked up the win when he pinned Maloney and he had to leave out of the arena. This is the first loss now that Maloney and Connors have. So this is now, they're no longer in the undefeated streak. But however, because they Kushida pinned Maloney, they could get another opportunity of the tag titles if they don't win the tournament. So they will have that in their back pocket until the timing's right. Now, our next match, we have LIJs consistent of Titan and Bushi taking on Master Wato and El Desperado. Now, of course, once again, the relationship between Wato and Desperado continues to be more weird and how it is. They seem that they can get along in the ring, but of course, Despy is trying to tell Wato to shut the hell up and just follow me. That sort of attitude he's been showing with him. However, it was, of course, Dedecimiento by Wato onto Bushi to pick up the win. They currently now gain 2 points with the total points of 4 with 2 wins and 1 loss. As for LIJ, they only have 1 win with 2 points and 2 losses. Same thing we have with Jet Setters and the War Dogs. So that's pretty much what we have so far in for the Best Super Juniors. We do know there will be another one coming up soon, but we'll get to that soon enough. But right now, let's move on to our next and final review, AEW Dynamite. Okay, AEW Dynamite. Now, it opened up with Renee Paquette doing an interview with MJF. Once again, of course, well, or should I say, finally, Adam Cole was able to escape and get his surgery done. Of course, but however, Roderick Strong and the Kingdom showed up. It appears that they want to help him to deal with the Bullet Club Gold. As you know, Jay White has his belt, of course, hostage. So that is something that he is, of course, looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. However, MJF heads to the ring to defend the Diamond, the Dynamite Diamond ring against Drew Robinson. Now, you know for a fact in this type of match, of course, the Ass Boys were going to get themselves involved. Even Jay White would get involved, but he ended up in the commentaries in hopes that, of course, that Juice Robinson walks away and takes everything from him. But however, when the referee was being distracted by the Ass Boys, apparently once again Juice used up his own ring to knock out MJF. But however, MJF used his ring instead, and it was over from there. So basically, he picked up the win when he applied a somewhat power driver. 1, 2, 3 is over, and then of course the beatdown in the post match happens. Of course, the Kingdom showed up to give a helping hand, but it didn't do any good. Then the Acclaim, along with Daddy Ass, helped. However, of course, the Ass Boys declared that they want a shot of the ROH tag team titles at Full Gear, and of course, MJF obliged to what they want. But of course, Max Caster continues to try to persuade MJF to allow him and the rest of the Acclaim and Daddy Ass to, of course, be his partners in order to get the triple BVAC. But it appears maybe we could see it happen, but it's a really good segment. But however, right when we were done, apparently, MJF has never confronted or faced diagonally against Kenny Omega. So, like they always say, first time for everything. So, Kenny knows that he may not have the title in his possession, but of course, through what we know, MJF is still the current AEW World Champion, despite of what Jay White thinks. So, they'll have that match coming up this Saturday in Collision. I'm kind of curious how that's going to be. So, it'll be a lot of fun. Now, speaking of course, MJF, Wardlow, once again, who has deep history with MJF, seems that he cannot stand the fact that fans are supporting MJF, and he is the current AEW World Champion. So he's determined to be the one to try to dethrone him. So we'll see when that day comes. Our next match, we have, of course, the Dark Order. John Silver and Alex Reynolds taking on Hook and Rob Van Dam. That's right. Rob Van Dam is involved. I am so thrilled. Everybody thought that the previous encounter between those two was gonna be just a one-off, but looks more like fans are demanding it. I have to say it's a pretty good concept to see. I practically enjoyed it. But of course, I have to say I would love to see more of RVD and Hook together, despite that, Taz, I'm sure he'll be okay with the idea. Not to mention, he tells that Hook calls him Uncle Rob, since he's known him since he was a kid. But, of course, Hook with the red rum on Silver, it was over right from there. Next thing we see, of course, RJ City is hanging out with Tony Storm. And once again, Tony Storm puts out another flick, and this one's called Hold That Butler. I don't know what that meant, but it seems pretty interesting, don't you think? But yeah, moving on. Tony Schiavone, as you know, has always been a special individual to help the careers of many wrestlers, especially one who I grew up with as a kid. I'm talking about Sting. So Sting comes out, thanks to fans, and not to mention calling Darby Allin the best tag partner he ever has. People might have thought, wait a minute, I thought you and Luger were the best. Luger was your best tag partner. I mean, we could argue saying yes, but I mean, Luger currently is confined in a wheelchair. Not to bring on negativity, I mean, they were the best, but however, for Sting, he felt that maybe being with Darby has changed his perspective a little bit, saying, this guy is alright, I like him. However, one of the biggest surprises and the gift that Tony Khan brought for Sting is the one man that made his career well known. And of course, no one expected this. And I will talk about this at the end of, once I'm finished with this, put a separate video and talk about it, because I feel people need to tell the WWE Loyalists to shut the hell up. So, we saw Ric Flair, and Flair, who had a lot of deep respect for Sting and all this other stuff, said that he would like to be there for his final match, like ride with him, knowing that this is coming to an end between them. But of course, Christian Cage had to get involved. And Christian Cage says, I know you have your last match in Revolution. I'm not going to wait longer. We're going to do it at Full Gear. So he is confident to believe that Full Gear will be his final one. They're not going to wait until Revolution. But however, Christian Cage decided to put a match between himself with Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus against Darby Allin and Sting and a partner of their choosing. And I kind of figured who were they going to do, and it was going to be Adam Copeland. But of course, Sting had to talk sense into him, tried to show him the light, because if you don't, it's too late, because Sting has been in situations like Adam Copeland. So hopefully that would help him out, but we'll see what happens until then. Now, Rene Paquette conducted an interview and provided an update on Chris Jericho, while Chris Jericho is the one who could update it. So he felt like whatever was going on with him, it felt like his body was this and that. And I'm pretty sure that he knows that he has to face bigger people. So he said that he has friends, basically, that would help him. And he said there's someone who is bigger than him. Now, many people are referencing one particular person, and that is, of course, Paul White, who we know him as the Big Show. They were called the Jarrett Show. So there is the possibilities of that, but we will see when that day happens. So I'll be paying attention until that day. Next up, we have the ROH World 6-Man Tag Team titles. Brothers A and the Hardys take on the Elite. Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Pretty good match, not gonna lie. Really pretty good. But however, it was the BTE trigger that sealed the deal when they put away Brothers A. However, during the post-match, that despicable Prince Nana and that creep, Swerve Strickland, broke into the home of Hangman Adam Page, blaming him for costing him the opportunity for the AEW International Championship. And he decides that Hangman Page owes him, and of course he went to the bedroom of his son. So right now, Swerve Strickland took this real personal. I'm sure Hangman will not take this lightly, and he will definitely be coming for revenge against them for what he has caused. Now our next match is the AEW World Women's Championship. Ruby Soho gets another shot in hopes that this belt returns back to the Outcast, but she has to face against one of AEW's best champions, and of course the one who kept it going during the pandemic, Hikaru Shida. You know that Ruby Soho would try to apply some dirty tricks. Well, apparently those dirty tricks did not apply very well for her, because she fell into it herself with an exposed turnbuckle. And then, of course, it was the katana to seal the fate of Ruby Soho, but it was Hikaru Shida who walked away with the belt, retaining it. However, a very bizarre moment. Toni Storm comes out, does her thing. You can tell with Hikaru Shida, she's like, what is going on here? So she's probably rather confused what we're going to see. But, yeah. Excuse me. Now our main event, we are featuring Orange Cassidy and Kazuchika Okada taking on the BCC, Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson. You know there was going to be some interesting moments of this match. So I thought it was a pretty good, decent one. It was pretty interesting. But however, it was, of course, Claudio Castagnoli who did an European uppercut in midair onto Orange Cassidy to pick up the win. But however, something happened to Bryan Danielson. He might have hurt himself, but we will see what happens. But now it's been official. Next week on Dynamite, Claudio will be facing against Orange Cassidy to get a shot of the International Championship. So we will see that happen. I think that's pretty much it right now. So let's move on with our last final thing we're going to do. And then I'll do the thing about the whole thing with Ric Flair, what's been going on, and about the WWE Loyalist. And then we'll call it a day from there. welcome to our news update. So this is what we're gonna have. It was announced for the November 24th show at North Carolina WrestleCade. It was already been told that Matt Cardona will be in action. He takes on against Speedball Mike Bailey. I'm looking forward to see that. That's gonna be fun. But more on the front of the GCW updates. Now, if you guys remember in a previous update that I did, GCW announced the return of the Nick Gage Invitational 8. They just announced their first entrant, and I think I have to say it's about damn time that this happened. And I was going, holy shit. Yes, however you want to say it, they announced the Deathmatch Queen, Risa Sera. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this. Many people are hoping for Zuzu Suzuki, but she's currently been, I'm not sure she's full-time with Stardom, but Risa Sera, I have to say, is a good, awesome choice. Now, Sendai Girls has announced for their November 5th show in Korakuen Hall, we have the current world champion, Mika Iwata, will take on none other than Suri, or as we knew her in NXT, Saray. Now, it's still unclear if the title's on the line. I mean, it would have been great to see that, but I'm sure that's not going to happen. Now, WWE has announced that in 2024 they'll be doing a show in the summer in Berlin, Germany. So this is going to be great. They're going to be going to another country. Some of you may ask, is there wrestling in Berlin? Yes, there is. There's a promotion there that I'm familiarized called WXW, which means West Side Extreme Wrestling. That is one of the most popular the only popular promotion in Germany. There is another German promotion I just know, but that's one of the popular ones I know of. So I think that's pretty much it. So I think it's time to do our this little thing called "What the hell is wrong with WWE Loyalist?" So let's get started on that right now. Okay, so welcome to what we call "What the hell is wrong with WWE Loyalist?" Now, in recent times, we have seen WWE Loyalists. Now, those who don't know what that means, these are hardcore fans, die-hard WWE fans that always will stood by with WWE. Now, there have been instances where these guys refuse to accept what happened. Now, we do have WWE Loyalists who are saying, AEW, they're going to go out of business because they're trash. That's always been their case. But however, they cannot accept with certain things that happen. For example, when the Owen Hart Foundation tournament took place, a lot of WWE loyalists were not too keen on that. They felt, this is BS. Owen Hart, he's a WWE guy. But I mentioned this before. If you have a problem with it, take it up with Vince, because the issue isn't that. The issue is the family of Owen Hart refuses to accept WWE since they cannot accept accountability. They're putting this as saying, you guys are not going to do this because you will not take any chances. So that's always been the case. I said, if you have a problem with it, have a petition signed. That's very simple what I would do. But of course, the obvious thing, Vince was not going to apologize for that. That's always been clear to me. And of course, other instances like people are calling Adam Copeland a traitor because he jumped ship. Now, guys, look, Adam Copeland will always be loyal to WWE, but I often say this. Did his loyalty matter to WWE? That's the question. If I have any WWE loyalists, you would understand. Do they have his loyalty? That's the problem. And now, more WWE loyalists are saying this because we just saw Ric Flair make an appearance. They're demanding WWE to remove Ric Flair from the Hall of Fame. Like, oh my god, these jerk monkeys. They're being so obnoxious. Look, he is not wrestling in AEW. The only reason Flair was there was due to the fact of his history with Sting. Nature helped but put Sting on the map, in the wrestling map. Put aside the promotions, whoever they work for. Okay? F WWE, F AEW. What about the history they made? Does that count for anything? To be honest with you, I feel WWE Loyalists just don't care. They just probably say, but WWE is the #1 promotion. It's one of the best. That's how it goes. I'm like, oh my god, people can be so dumb when they don't see the reality. Look, Ric Flair is not wrestling. It's simple. He's retired. He's done. Veto. Done. But if you can't accept that, then you guys are in it for the wrong reasons. So, I don't know. It's not going to happen. WWE are not going to remove Ric Flair from the Hall of Fame because you say so. They know he's no longer wrestling. But what is wrong with sharing history with an old adversary that he helped put on the map? Nothing. If you guys can't accept that, if you cannot see that magnitude that those two between Ric Flair and Sting have together, then you guys are not you're not fans at all. You just want to think WWE has a hold on everything, but they don't. So I think that's pretty much what I have to say. Hope you WWE lawyers get it out of your heads. Okay, nothing you say is gonna change anything. It doesn't matter what promotion WWE talent or staff are in now. It doesn't matter. So deal with it. And I think that's pretty much it right now. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, since it's going to be Thursday, we do have, of course, the latest New Japan Pro Wrestling with Super Junior Tag League. Day 4, we will see how they progress. We have MLW Fusion, Impact Wrestling, and of course Ring of Honor. But there's still some wrestling shows I haven't seen yet. There's ones that I haven't prioritized soon enough. There's the Tsurumi Natsu 10th anniversary with Decade of Queens, which is something I'm looking forward to it. And of course, the Liz Bleach show. I'm thinking maybe try because early in the morning I got something to do. Hopefully I can get to see those. But we will see how that will progress. So for right now, we'll just stick to what we have and move forward from there. So I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.